Hello and welcome to a session focusing on the upper body using some weights. I have some 5-pound weights. Sometimes I will double them up into one hand and use them as a 10-pound weight. So find your weights of choice and let's start in a standing position, legs wide, knees soft, and we're just going to start with the shoulders rolling up, back, around, and down. We'll spend the first few minutes just warming up the arms and upper body, getting a nice range of motion going. 3 and 2 and 1. Let's switch directions. I have a little bouncy McBounce happening in the legs and in the knees. And I'm connecting to my breath. I'm going to breathe in and out. And in and out. Let's do 3 and 2 and 1. And big inhale, reaching up, and exhale down. 3 more. Inhale up, exhale lower. Inhale, stretch higher, and exhale lower. Last time, reaching up, and down. Let's do big arm circles back, back, back. I've got a parallel leg. Keeping the bounce in the knees. And building up the heart rate. Let's go the other way. Open through the chest. Reach the arms long and strong. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Great. Wider again in the legs and feet. And let's send this up and over into a side body stretch. Other way. And again. Really stretching through the ribs, the lats, the shoulder and arm. And you might feel it even down in the hips. Okay, I'm going to bring the hands just to the back of the head, feet underneath the hips, hip width apart, soft knees, and I'm going to open it up, back bend, looking up, breathing in, drop tailbone, lengthen low back, and bring it back to center. Bend the knees as you push the hands up high to the sky, interlacing fingers. Keep the elbows straight. Shrug and drop, shrug and drop shoulders, shrug and drop. 2 more, shrug and drop. 1 more, shrug, and great. Okay, keep the interlacing. Bring the hands behind you, touching the body and then not touching the body. So lifting and lowering the arms. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to switch the way that my fingers are interlaced, and I'm going to add a balance, just lifting the heels, and repeat that movement, getting some stretch across the chest in front of the shoulders. 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's just do some robot arms. And let's push up and overhead, a movement that seems quite easy, weightless, without any resistance, but also a really functional move that we tend to lose this flexibility over time, but not us, other people that don't do these kinds of moves. Keep the arms up, open halfway down with palms facing up, and see if those palms can touch overhead. Open, 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 and lift. Stretch the arms without shrugging the shoulders. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Last thing we're going to do is turn the palms to face back behind you, and then just little pushes behind you. They push back and back, but they also slightly go up and up. So up and back at the same time. There's a bit of a forward and back in an up and down motion happening simultaneously. Just to distract us, let's lift one foot, practicing our balance, getting our core involved, breathing. Switch the leg. You can do it. Let's go for 10, 9, 8, 10, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and wow. All right, shake that out. I'm just letting the arms be floppy, and I'm letting the hands gently hit the back of the opposite shoulder. Little pressure point activation, little self-massage action. All right, okay. I think that constitutes a pretty good warm-up. So now let's find our weights. So I would like to start with some chest. When we're working the chest, we're also going to feel obviously muscles in other areas like the arms and the shoulders. Let's bring the palms forward. Let's tighten the tummy, especially with that exhale. Heavy tailbone, soft knees. We're going to lift the arms up and down. Exhale, up and down and up and down. Let's talk about soft elbows. So we're not going to lock the elbows. We're going to keep them soft. And watch, we're not doing this with the trunk of the body by leaning back to lift the weights. So that's where our core connection is going to come into play. Keep the core strong and keep your posture neutral as you lift those weights. Parallel to the floor, shoulder height at the top, up and down. Keep a nice flow. 4 and a 3 and a 2. Let's try to hold right here. We're gonna pulse, pulse, more. Abdominals, 4, 3, 2. Woo, drop that down and just do some bicep curls here. This will feel a little easier because we're bending at the elbow. Biceps are strong. But we're going to use this as a pseudo rest, but also keeping things in motion. And if you want to keep moving with the lower body, sometimes I just do like a slow dance, a slow step tap, kind of dance motion. Good, still controlling this weight. Let's try another 3 and 2. We're going to use this move and variations of this move as our kind of resting moment. But then we're going to shock you and keep it spontaneous by doing little pulses. Pulse, pulse. Now when I see this move, I get really upset because people have a lot of open wrists. So they're really creasing the wrists. And I want you to close the wrist a little bit. So your wrist is not flexing, it's neutral, and you're not doing this move from your wrist or straining the little wrists. You are targeting front of the arm, bicep. And let's go 4, 3, 2. Whew, okay, so just little tip, not like this, like this, so that this part of your wrist is nice and straight, like you could lay a ruler on top of that wrist. Okie dokie. Let's shift gears to our deltoids, to our rotator cuff, actually in the shoulder. So we're going to come up to those robot arms that we did in our warm-up. And I've got wide stance, bending the knees. You can always keep the feet right under the hips. I'm just getting a little bit lower for my camera angles. Okay, drop weights, lift, inhale, exhale. Same thing about those wrists. You have a good vantage point. You can look at them, see what they're doing. Are they twisting? Are they torquing? Are they flexing? Keep them neutral and still, and try to feel this motion, this movement coming from the shoulders, especially the back of the shoulder as you pick up those weights. Pick up the weights. Can you point your elbows out to the sides, nice and wide? Keep them high. Sometimes people are dropping the elbows a bit too low, and I want them at the same height as the shoulders, pretty please. Let's tighten the tummy. Another 4, 3, 2, back of shoulders. Last one. Great. Bring it down. Turn the palms to face outwards. Wrists, reach the knuckles long, so those wrists are lengthening, and then pull the weights to the shoulder. We're just going to do that resting bicep. Curl and drop, curl and drop. You can keep it still, or you can add a little slow dance with your weightlifting. Why not? Getting a little bit more movement in the body. Do, do, do. Abs are in. Posture perfect. Lengthen crown of the head to the skies. 4, 3, 2, and let's hold halfway here. Reach those knuckles, and let's do little pulses here. Let's go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Keeping elbows in to the body, not too high. Drop the hands at the same height as the elbow. Close and open. Close and open. The weights are not going to crash or touch. You're going to stop and then restart, opening it back. Think of the back of those shoulders again, and exhale as you open. A lot of people do this from the wrists and not from the shoulders. It looks like this when you do it from the wrists. They open like this. Okay, and I hate that. I don't want to see that move. So we're just going to keep the wrists very quiet. Don't let them overwork. You know, they're used to doing a lot of things, driving and typing, texting and blah, blah, blah. And now we're going to focus on back of the shoulders that are usually sleepy. So let's tighten tummy. Think about posture and breath as we open up for another 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh my gosh. Whew. Shoulders feeling a little lactic acid burn. Okay, let's do some biceps here. Just the hammer curl. Hammer curl, hammer curl. Here's our sort of, not really a rest, but our interlude. That's it. That's what it is. It's a bicep interlude. Bicep interlude. So why is she doing bicep interludes all the time? Well, because I only have 5 pounds and biceps actually need some heavier weights. So I'm using this to fatigue my biceps so that when I actually start to work more on strengthening the biceps, they'll fatigue a little bit sooner because I've done all this interlude work, bicep interlude. Okay, so let's keep the hammer curls going and then just a little faster. So it's a smaller motion in front of you. Think of the front of the arm from the shoulder to the elbow. Those 2 muscles, biceps, working. And bring a little closer together. Squeeze it in to the body. You can keep it still. You can see that I like to keep it moving. Great. And let's go 4, 3, 2, and 1. Woo. Okay, nice job. Let's talk about triceps now. So triceps, we're going to have the feet either together or hip width apart. Put a little bend in the knees. Let's pull up the tummy, keep the spine nice and straight, and pull up those elbows high and in. Think about your shoulders, soften them, and bring the weights a little bit back behind you. I'm going to look down to the ground, but lift my chin up and in. Exhale, reach behind you. Reach back. Reach back. Reach back. Use your exhale to reach away with the weights. Think of the back of the arm, the tricep, 3 muscles in the back of the arm. Tricep makes up most of the arm, so we should try to do some more tricep work in this session. Can the elbows lift a little higher? Can the tummy come in and the chin nod? Let's go 4, 3, 2, last one. Whew. Good job here. Just gonna do a little recovery, a little side bend, letting that weight be heavy. Breathe in, switch. Breathe in, reach down, switch. And switch. So I want you to hold, if you have 5s, you're feeling strong, or if you have 3s and you want to, see if we can hold just in both weights in one hand. And then curl. Bicep curl. I've got the feet as wide as the hips. I'm feeling like a superstar. I might just reach that other arm out to the side. And the opposite leg, take it a step behind me. So I'm in a bit of a lunge. Control it up, control it down. Was anybody counting? I need a counter. So I'm just going to try to keep going till I really get into some tired muscles. Like I almost can't lift these weights. Okay, I'm going to try 4 more. 3. Now time to think happy thoughts. Cupcakes. 2. Kittens. 1 more time. Rainbows. Okay. Wow, so feeling a little bit of burn in that bicep. Let's switch sides. So you can stand or sit any way you like. Try not to swing the arm or use a lot of this extra body work. That's where our Pilates principles are going to come into play. We're going to keep everything still and isolate so that the bicep muscles, the front of the arm, are doing the work. Not the wrist and not the low back or the hips. Okay? Try reaching that opposite arm out to the side, keeping it active. Taking a step back, bending in the knees, getting a little lower. So there's some work in the legs. And we're usually uneven in our strength levels from side to side. That's because some of us are right-handed, some of us are left-handed, and that creates an imbalance in the body. So you might find that you're doing more reps on one side than the other until you get to a point of fatigue. This side is a little stronger for me. But I want to keep my form and not get too bouncy or swingy with my motion. I'm going to go 4. Going to go 3. Recruit your abs. 2. Pull tummy in. I'm gonna go one more after this. Wow, good job. Okay, let's take these weights and let's push them up and overhead. I'm gonna just step back a bit, bringing them behind you. Now, elbows should come in, but not to the point that you feel impingement in your shoulders. So if you have to keep them a little wide, that's okay. Try not to arch the back. Tummy in, tailbone drops, soften the knees, and on your next exhale, reach to the sky. Reach to the sky. Exhale up and exhale up. Now my weights are touching each other, and I keep thinking of squeezing in as I lift up. Double motion. I'm going to go into just a little lunge. Get the lower body working. If you wanted to have a combination move here, you can even add a lunge. As you reach up, you can bend the knees down. I'll just hold the lunge position with the back heel popped. Switch the legs. Let's go. 3, 2. Wow. All right, I'm just going to take a little 3-second break to shake it out. Go back to a little bounce and swing. Catch my breath. And coming onto my back on the ground. I'm going to do a little bit of chest, a little bit more tricep, and then a final bicep. So find those weights. I got knees bent, hip width apart, parallel legs, and bringing the arms up on top of the chest. Open it out to the side. Bring it back together. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. And just bring it on top of the shoulders without crashing the weights together. So we're not touching the weights, we're stopping and restarting. And we're not touching the floor, we're hovering just above the floor for a microsecond before bringing it back up again. Keep it in motion, find the flow, connect to the breath and the core, find the focus, and let's go 4, and up, and 3, and up, and 2, and can you hold the last one here? Now we're just going to lift a couple inches and down, not all the way up. We'll keep the tension on. You'll feel work through the arms, shoulders, and chest. Let's also get a little bit into our abdominals, not super crazy, but there is a contraction. A gentle activation. Elbows soft. You can take a look and see that they're not locking. Let's go 4, and 3, and 2. Bring it all the way to the top, just like we did with the bicep. We're going to see if we can bring both weights into one hand. And I'm going to take a wide elbow and then push it back up again. So I'm doing a single-sided chest press here. Inhale and exhale, and inhale and exhale. My opposite leg is going to lift to the sky. Then every time I bend that elbow, I can just do a little bit of coordination. You don't have to do this. I just like to do some coordination moves for some mental exercise and concentration boosting. Down and up. Inhale and exhale. Let's go 4 and up. 3, you got it. And 2 This is fun. And 1. Yay, let's switch sides, holding the weights in the other hand. So palm is facing the end of the mat. Just starting with the arm, bending, elbow is hovering, and then push it to the sky. Bend that elbow wide to the side. It floats above the ground, and you exhale, push it up. Try not to feel your elbow snapping. It is a controlled movement. Hips are stabilized. Opposite leg is going to lift. And now you can add the leg lowering with the elbow and lift, lower and lift. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Keep that going. You can do it. 4 and up. 3 and up. 2 and up. Last one. Yay. Great. Bring both feet down. Put the weights back into each hand. Press them to the sky. Palms facing in. Reach the knuckles high. And now just shift a little bit overhead as we drop the weights over the crown of the head and then reach back up again. Inhale, bend, extend. Squeeze in to the center. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Keep this going, but try lifting both legs to the sky. Flex the feet, point the toes. So you bend the elbows and straighten the arms. Coordination, concentration, same time as we're strengthening. And up, inhale down, and up. Let's go 4, and up. Squeeze to the middle. Last 2. Keep toes pointed and keep the elbows bent. Little pulses, 8, 7. Wrists are still. Think of back of the arm. Reach more overhead for 3, bad counter, and 2, and come up, up, up to the sky. Hold the arms high, drop one leg down, and let's scissor the legs. Scissor and scissor. Pull the tummy in. Exhale a little deeper. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Good. 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Drop the weights for a moment. Stretch out the legs, reach the arms overhead. Breathe in deeply. Flex the feet. Reach the arms if you want to use a weight. This will make it easier on the core, harder in the arms. And since this is an upper body focused workout, I'm going to choose to hold the weight. Lifting the head and exhale, coming all the way up. Let's lift up high to the sky. 3, 2, 1. Lovely. We're going to finish with a little bicep. Actually, it's a combo. It's going to be core and bicep. If you want the pillow, if you have any low back issues, the pillow might help support. I also love using a pillow because I can feel my core muscles more, as opposed to having nothing behind me and me having to use my hip flexors too much or my low back. If I have a soft surface like a pillow, I can lean into that, round my spine more, contract my abdominals more deeply, feel my abdominals more. So I am going to use a pillow. Now I've got my heels down, my feet flexed. You can just have your full foot down if you like. And not too close. Give yourself some space. You could even do this with straight legs. Okay, here it is. So weights in each hand. You can do this without weights. We're going to go back, tuck the tail under, and find a C-curve shape with your spine. Lift the weights a little higher. Curl in and out. In. Keep your C-curve. Whole time. Keep your heels pressing down or legs straight. See how it feels. Can you lift the arms higher? Now watch the weights don't come all the way into the shoulder. You're only going to curl them like 90% straight arms. 90% reach forward, forward, forward. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Let's go. 4 and 3, 2, hold it here. Release a little pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Woo! Oh my gosh. Oh wow, drop those weights. Coming into a seated position. Oh, let's roll it out with those shoulders. I love shoulder rolls because they're great for mobility, releasing tension, tightness. Shrug and drop, shrug and drop, shrug and drop. One more. Good. Open the arms. Nice and wide to the side. Inhale and exhale, cross one arm over and hug it in nice and close. Let's circle out that wrist. Really accentuate the circles. Other way. That reaching arm is going to just fold behind you. And we're going to drop opposite ear to the shoulder. Release the jaw now. Your mouth is open. And you're just kind of releasing the jaw. The hand that's behind you is going to reach all the way to the sky. We're going to hold that elbow. A lot of people look down with this tricep stretch, but we're going to try to look up, lifting the chin. Reach the hand farther down the center of the back. Pull the ribs in. Sit taller. Chin nod. Can you pull this elbow a little over to the side, creating a side body stretch? Release the hand that's holding the elbow and let's actually move into a side stretch. You can look up, you can look down. Release the arm and come back to the center. Inhale, open. Breath in. Let's cross the other arm and hug it nice and close. Circle the wrist. Drop shoulders. I always love a warm up and cool down with all of my workouts. And you're going to take that reaching arm, fold it behind you now, and drop the opposite ear to the shoulder. A nice neck stretch, jaw release. Check your posture. For me, I'm arching my back. So I'm going to pull my ribs a little closer to my spine and I'm going to lean back a little bit. My low back is going to press lightly into the back of my hand. The hand at your low back is going to stretch the sky. We're going to hold on to that elbow. Now reaching down the center of the back. Look upwards. Breathe in more oxygen. Pull your chin a little closer to your throat. And if you're flaring your ribs, pull those in. Now can you add the side body bend? You're pulling that top elbow over to the opposite side without lifting a hip or a knee or a leg. Keep the legs grounded. And let's move right into the side body stretch. Looking up, stretching longer. Looking down, reaching bottom hand farther. Let that arm just drop. And coming back to the center. Give it a little shake, 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 shake. Shake out any tension. And let's just finish inhaling up. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Exhaling, open. Inhaling more. Exhaling. Last one. And exhaling.